Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the Cloud Cost Optimization webinar with NTT Data and Densify, where we believe in doing more with less. My name is Daniela and I'll be the moderator for today's session. We have with us today Jonathan Wood, Senior Director Impact at NTT Data, and Roger Graves, Senior Technical Consultant EMEA at Densify. And with that, I'm going to pass the mic over to Jonathan to get us started.
Thank you, Daniela. So NTT Data are a worldwide top 10 IT service company. We deliver innovative FinOps and cost optimization services, and we also help to build internal capability for our customers. We have a proven FinOps framework and range of services, and we're absolutely delighted to partner with Densify to deliver greater savings and return on investment with our accelerated optimization. Over to you, Roger.
I'm Roger Graves, Senior Technical Consultant, and I work with Densify, and Densify is providing advanced analytics via a SaaS-based solution to continuously determine the right cloud instance or container resource for every workload, and that's to reduce waste and ensure performance for some of the world's leading organizations. And we're excited to be partnering with NTT Data and part of the overall cloud cost optimization program, which we're covering today. So we're just going to start that user poll now because we'd like some feedback from people. The biggest result there, John, is around the lack of cost visibility and governance and process gaps. So that's obviously one of the biggest challenges that we see, and that's obviously where the cloud cost optimization program can help, but closely followed by optimizing infrastructure resources, doing that second piece, which is what we'll describe as well today. And then obviously the big challenge is getting engineers to take action as well.
Absolutely, Roger. I think that's something that we'll be talking about in the webinar as we go through.
Excellent.
The problem that we most commonly see is costs that are just naturally rising across organizations. There's greater cloud adoption. And we're also seeing analysts, call out here is from IDC, we're seeing a growth in that cloud spend from that increased adoption of cloud. The complexity of dealing with that can be quite significant. It can be a real challenge. And so there are a range of factors that are affecting that. We see increasing applications and services being deployed, but also a number of other factors such as price rises from the cloud platforms that are being expected this year, and other factors that really start to make the whole cloud environment quite complex and quite a shifting area for organizations to deal with. We often find that organizations end up with a problem trying to deal with that, and so their target is actually to deliver something quite tactical, and that tactical approach can deliver some value. It highlights the need to deliver a longer term strategic capability in order to deliver a more consistent approach to how that value from cloud is delivered. And so NTT Data can help you do more with less. And what we mean by that is we can deliver more services from the cloud for your money, and we can lower the cost of your existing services. This is talking about some of the services that we offer at NTT Data. And what we often see with that tactical approach is we see a lot of clients trying to deal with those cost challenges and value challenges by making commitments, so reserved instances and savings plans, getting extra discounts on services from committing to have them with the cloud platform for a certain period of time. And also compute optimization is really common. Storage and network optimization can be more of a challenge, but those are two of the areas that we see that. Under management, we see initial attempts to look at analysis of where the problems are, so understanding where you've got a problem and where your costs are, and then how much you're actually saving and how much you're actually spending as well. And in addition to that, what's your forecast spend and save, to actually try and accurately understand that so you can budget properly. One of the areas that we often see a significant challenge and isn't dealt with under those tactical approach is business change. Business change comes in a number of areas. One of the things that we often help clients deliver and deal with is the culture change and the process change. When we look at the culture, it's adopting a cost-focused culture and building the ability to deliver that on a day-to-day basis, and also delivering the processes that control that and the governance that control that cost-saving mentality. We also have a proven FinOps framework that we can use to help deliver those processes and to form a framework right through the process for a project lifecycle or an operational life cycle of a service or application in order to deliver that control and governance and get a proper view of how efficient you're running in the cloud and how much value you're getting from cloud. We also help clients in either building or supplementing their cloud center of excellence capability, which includes developing operating models or specific skills in areas, which includes FinOps and cost optimization. In the management area, we extend the capability into two other areas. One is around reporting. So we do what we call a WOW report. This is a really important addition that we provide because it tells you how much has been achieved. It tells you what opportunities are still out there and what we've missed. You know, what could we have delivered we haven't achieved. And so the opportunities give you a view of how to prioritize and get the benefits as quickly as possible. And the waste highlights the areas that we need to improve in and prevent it happening in the future. And then in the automation area, we've developed processes that allow us to take an optimization and do a full end-to-end automation. So we can take that recommendation from Densify and we can deliver that through an automation tool into an environment, production or non-production, and we can put checks and balances in there to make sure that change is done safely. By delivering that standardized, repeatable change, we lower the risk of that change and we accelerate that change in order to deliver the savings as quickly as possible. These may look like quite a wide range of services. And what we find is that a lot of clients need specific services. These are modular, so we can fit these services to a specific need.
Excellent. So I was just going to say that, John, obviously, so customers can access this through any route that fits with them, I believe.
Absolutely. And it may be that that more tactical approach is what somebody needs at that point in time, or it may be that there's an organization that needs something that is more strategic.
Yeah. And I love the WOW report because it is obviously hitting, but that's really around that value tracking, isn't it? Many customers want to see the value, and we need to be able to show at the end of the day the value that is being delivered. So that value tracking mechanism.
Absolutely.
Excellent. So thanks very much, John. I'm just going to carry on with regards to optimization and the fact that it includes both price and quantity. And I think this was reflected in the results of the poll because obviously people are having issues around both the process gaps, etc., and lack of visibility, governance, etc., but also in the fact that getting engineers to take action on the underlying infrastructure is the key element. So really we see that as price and quantity, and price and quantity really make up what you pay. So it's a procurement and discount optimization piece. So many customers are focused on this element, which is absolutely fine, and typically what we see when we're engaging with our customers. So when people talk about FinOps, they're often talking about, okay, how do we address the bill? How do we do the savings plans, RIs, etc.? Slice the bill. They need to do show back, charge back reports, which is very important. But the other element to this is basically the resource and infrastructure optimization piece. It's what you pay for. No point getting a great price or securing a discount on the wrong infrastructure if that's not meeting both your performance needs as well as the actual quantity that you need. So we focus very much on both with the service, both of those elements, but Densify itself with the analytics is very much focused on the resource and infrastructure optimization piece. Customers need to address both price times quantity, because that is the cost to the business. But obviously when we're talking about right sizing, we're making sure you've got the right infrastructure. So if you don't have enough, we're increasing it. If you have too much, we can safely reduce it. So we see a resource and infrastructure optimization challenge because there's a real difference between two key teams that customers have. One is the engineers and the other is the finance team. So we have the application owners, cloud engineers, platform owners doing what they need to do, which is develop applications, writing great source code and making sure their end customers are happy with the services that their company is providing. So whatever they create, it gets deployed out into that infrastructure across AWS, Azure, GCP, container environments, etc. So that's all great, but this obviously generates a bill. So we end up with billing data, which is what the finance team are really accessing. And unfortunately, the finance team, all they get to see is the fact that these bills are regularly increasing. As we saw before, the actual problem is cloud costs are increasing over and over. And there's really a chasm here between these two teams. The finance team are really talking one language of dollars and cents, and the app owners, cloud engineers are talking another language, bits and bytes. And really it's difficult for these two teams to have a common language. At the moment, a lot of the finance focus is on those chargeback reports, chargeback, showback. They throw that over the fence to the application owners, to the engineering teams and say, this is what you're spending. And obviously great information and you need that for governance and control, but it doesn't give app owners, cloud engineers precise answers or doesn't give them precise instructions on what to do to perhaps optimize or better utilize the underlying infrastructure. So the main mechanism that they invoke is to buy discounts, enterprise discount plans, savings plans, reservations, etc., which is all good and needs to be done, but it'd be better if you were securing all of those discounts on the most optimal underlying infrastructure. So to resolve this problem, that's where we bring in the Densify analytics. So Densify is ingesting the raw utilization data from the environment. That is then being processed and analyzed through our optimization engine, also based on a granular policy framework. So the policy framework allows us to codify the operational requirements of the application owners. So you'll have different requirements for critical business systems, which are very different to standard production or even dev test systems. You can specify different periods of data that you want to use, different scoring strategies, different thresholds, etc. So it's able to generate those very precise answers, which we can then forward to the relevant people in two primary formats. One is we call human readable format. So it's effectively a PDF that's giving the information in a format that application owners, lines of business can receive, digest, understand, and approve, and then in machine readable format. And that allows cloud engineers to do what they like to do, which is automate, because you need to do this at scale. If you're doing this at scale, you need automation. So we're delivering it in both formats to keep both teams happy. And then that allows us to take customers on a journey to automation, so we can pass those recommendations into their tool chain to be incorporated into their CI/CD process, including a change management process. So if we need to have approval through ServiceNow or Jira, we can incorporate that into the integration as well. And then that allows the customer to apply those changes using their standard tool set into that infrastructure to ultimately optimize the quantity of resources they have, which generates less billing data, because ultimately we are able to use that infrastructure more efficiently, saving costs. And then ultimately we end up with happier finance people. So that's the story and the journey we can take customers on, that we are taking customers on to achieve better infrastructure resource optimization. So what I'm going to do is just hand back to you, John, just to cover off one of our customer success stories, just so you can walk through the success that we've already had at one of our customers.
Thank you, Roger. So this customer success story is where a customer came to us. They had a significant budget challenge. And so we were asked to reduce their cloud costs significantly, $3.5 million a year, to bring it back within budget. And also to go into the environment and provide leadership, process, culture change across multiple suppliers. So this was something that we had to achieve in that multi-supplier ecosystem. And also to deliver a long-term FinOps framework with processes and policies, and also KPIs, so that we could look at where they were with optimization, how efficient were things running in public cloud, set targets, and actually look at the impact of the changes that were being made. And so we had a number of challenges. The culture was really not established to actually deliver these kinds of savings. The default answer when you go to an application team was definitely no, we're not going to do it, because we don't see why we should. That lack of supplier buy-in was a real challenge for us, for the organization involved. The architecture patterns were not optimized for cloud. A lot of the applications were not designed to operate in cloud. We were working with applications that were not designed to work efficiently in cloud. And then there was a lack of governance and accountability. So nobody was really accountable for the cost. There was just an overspend, and there was no governance at the front end or the ongoing operations in order to make sure that cost is considered and that services are optimized. And the results we had were, we did deliver the $3.5 million per annum saving. We achieved it within 2 weeks, and that was obviously quite difficult to do, but it was something that we did manage to achieve. But what we did have was to deliver a tactical governance model to keep a lid on those costs, and also to extend the optimization into other areas with different optimization types and working with Densify. That's resulted in a long-term relationship with the client in FinOps and cost optimization. We've been involved with them for over 5 years, and that $3.5 million a year is something that we've delivered many times over since that initial 2 weeks. In turn, the client has actually decided that they want to be able to do this themselves, and we've helped them mature to a level where we can hand over this capability so that they can run this themselves.
Thanks, John, for just covering off that customer success story. So it was a really good one and really quite challenging, as you saw by those challenges that you covered off there.
If you are interested in getting in touch with us, you can send us an email at answers@densify.com. And if you were in fact intrigued by what you heard and saw today and are interested in seeing Densify in action, you can request a demo simply by scanning the QR code that's on the screen.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.